What's going on, guys? So today I've got a video that hurts to film, but hopefully this can be informative to some of y'all. So this is a project that I'm working on for a client, and this came off of the big printer here. The print actually failed in a numerous of ways, so we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about what type of things failed here, how I can potentially try to avoid them in the future, and what I'm going to do moving forward. So yeah, there are quite a few issues here. Quite a few. I'm just looking at a bunch of different things. Yeah, so I mean, we can start off with the obvious. There's way too much stringing and junk in here. So I printed this without supports. There's going to be some trays that we'll place here on this ledge, so we need this ledge here. And I had put a an angle in here, a triangle angle, but I just missed the edge right there, so some of this printed all off on the edge and made a mess. In my opinion, I think the printer should have made that, and it didn't, so that just sucks. So there's a big mess there. This is not something I'm going to deliver, so I'm not cleaning any of this up. Also, the triangle pieces I put on this edge are not even connected. So yeah, same with this one. I somehow managed to have not placed this up against the wall so that it would, hold there. The start and stop retractions. So due to the nozzle, let's say it finishes up a layer over here, and then for whatever reason over there is where it needs to start. The nozzle's traveling either along the print in a combing mode, keeping the nozzle inside the print head to hopefully hide some of the filament stringiness, which actually it doesn't do in this one. It just makes it worse. So the long travel moves are allowing ooze to come out. So when it restarts, all that ooze should have been, in the printer, and it's not. So we get effects like that. We get effects like this. This is not what we want. And even more, what's kind of alarming me, and might be harder to see on video. Oh yeah, you can definitely see it there. Look at how bowed out this thing got. Like, holy crap. So this thing quite literally bowed out so far that it kind of misaligned itself. It seems to, I'm not even sure because I wasn't watching this necessarily, but where it bowed out here, looks like it equally bowed in. I mean, this is a huge dip right here. I mean, that is a big dip. Like this can't even span the whole distance of it. But yeah, and then we could talk about the surface finish being completely crap. I believe most of this is from the travel movements and it missing, all this filament and crap is where it should have been in places like this, so where all this filament went is all over the rest of the part. So completely unacceptable. I mean, could you maybe make this work? No, there's pretty much nothing. This is now an expensive box that won't be using. So this stuff, look at how it peeled at the corner too. So it really is a kind of odd way. I haven't seen it pull so aggressively in such a short area. I mean, this is like a 1/4 of an inch difference on how hard it pulled. So that's on each corner. So that's why we ran a brim. But I mean, look at what the brim was fully intact here, and it just could not do anything. So I'm afraid that this has a little bit to do with, you know, with this pulling up, it's gonna kind of push it in and pull this in. So I'm thinking that has part of the reason to do with the warping there. And we can see this infill just doesn't look right either. You know, flow maybe could have been increased by a little bit. There's little bits of gaps in between these lines. Maybe that would have helped. I mean, there's not really any gaps. It's just so weird. It's like it was running too hot. It's like it was running too cold. It's like there was not enough extrusion. It's like there's a little too much. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one to work with. But, I mean, this is just totally unacceptable. Now, you can see it's quite firm where this nice thickness is up in here. So I'm just thinking that I can probably add more of that, or maybe just some straight lines going up all the way. I don't know. We're gonna have to do something, because this is unacceptable. This won't pass quality control. It won't pass selling it to the client. I mean, even look in here. So this tells me, like, look. What I'm wanting to point out is, like, the base of this should be at the highest point right here, but it's pushed in. So the only way that could be pushed in is if the print deformed and was heated to the point that literally that wall pushing inward, the wall going in pushed down onto the print, and I mean, just heavily sunk that arm in there. So I mean, I'm thinking that arm might have actually helped. Maybe that's the only reason it even got this far. But I'm thinking what I'll need to do is just make like maybe 3 or 4 of these. Maybe try 3 and go all the way up, and then maybe a ring halfway around or something. I mean, we're gonna have to figure something out, because there's just way too much wrong with this piece right now. And this is a very expensive print. I mean, what we're looking at right now is $100 of failed plastic that, you know, maybe I could turn this into a $100 planter, but that's going to be one of the ugliest planters I've ever created. Just a fucking, damn it. I'm trying so hard to work on my language, guys. Call me out every time if you're watching my videos and you catch me cussing. Call it out and remind me to stop, because I'm doing my best to clean up my mouth. I just somehow got into a habit in the past of cursing a whole lot, and I don't want to have that be an issue when it comes to like teaching children or other things like that. But yeah, we've just got major issues. So I've got to work on retraction. I've got to work on speed. I got to work on travel. I got to work on nozzle leakage, the shape of the print itself. I mean, this is big printing, you know. If I had put something that was this shape on a KP5L, KP5S, I would have had absolutely no problems. It's this spanning of large distances that really starts to affect how prints come out, how they warp, how they change shape. I mean, there's just certain shapes I wouldn't be able to avoid this with, you know. Like, if we had to keep this shape perfectly, I'm not sure how I would overcome this, other than maybe like switching to a PLA or something. But luckily, because this is kind of a fluid project, I can make modifications to the shape so that we can get the product out. And we're just doing it over here in Tinkercad. So this is luckily a box, you know, I can work in Tinkercad. So I improved all the edges and increased the strength there of those. But, you know, the more stuff I add to make it stronger, the more material I use. So I'm taking what would have been a 5-day, or I think it was 3 or 4 days at 5 rolls of filament. We're probably going to make it a 6 or 7 roll of filament thing now. And, you know, this is going to cost me more time and more filament, but I've already quoted the client based on this shape, not the new shape. And I can't really go back to the client and say, hey, I need another $300-400 because the first shape didn't work. You know, sometimes you can do that, but I'm going to do my best to at least give it one more attempt. What I'm probably going to do is try honing a little bit more of the print settings with some of the smaller prints. Like I can definitely print that guy and it shouldn't give me massive warpage issues. And if I can get rid of all the stringiness and surface layer issues printing this one and this piece and this piece, then maybe I can go ahead and do that to the other pieces too. So we'll find out and see about that. But thanks for checking this out, guys, and we will see what we can do to make this better. I'll give you an update video on it.